Hey guys, in today's video we are taking a look at the brand new Traxxas Hoss. I have had this thing for over a week. I have been wanting to get it out of the box and drive it so bad, but I couldn't do it until I was able to make a video of it. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm making a video of the Traxxas Hoss, doing my initial impressions. And repressions, did I say repressions? My initial impressions and kind of a review. I was trying to say review, wasn't I? It's kind of a review. It's not really a proper review because I don't think you should be reviewing an RC car like the day it comes out. You can't really give it a really thorough review. You got to get some time on this thing, right? And so that's what I'm gonna do today. But before we get started, I need to tell you that this video is brought to you by me. It's brought to you by me. I don't have any sponsors. The closest thing I have to a sponsor is you guys. So if you guys are enjoying my channel, you enjoy my videos, hit that subscribe button wherever it is down there somewhere. Hit that subscribe button, like the video if you like it, share it with your friends, get some tractions, because the tractions, I cannot speak today. The better this video does, the more videos I can make for you guys. And I really appreciate it. You guys, if you help the channel out, I will return the favor. And with that out of the way, let's get into this box and see what the Hoss is all about. Before we get to the RC itself, this is the bag it comes with the manual and everything else, and all the tools, things for the shocks, various parts, some stickers, decals, stuff like that. Standard Traxxas stuff. There it is in all its glory. This is a cool looking little truck. This is a really cool looking truck. I like this thing a lot. This thing is really cool. It's already got like little body savers on it. It's got a rack up there to protect the body. And there's this piece back here to protect that. That's nice, that's cool. It's got these little things that keeps the body in there. That's very cool, I like that. Look how aggressive these tires look. These are going to be some fantastic tires. I really like that dark chrome on there too. That looks really good. This is a good looking RC. A size comparison between it, the Rustler, and the Max. It is a little bit bigger than the Rustler. It's smaller than the Max. This is with a wide Max kit on there too, so just so you get some perspective. And the wheelbase is pretty much the same, lengthwise and everything else. So it is Rustler size. It just has a few bigger things like the tires, the body stands up higher, stuff like that. And you can see it's smaller than the Max by a little bit. So it's kind of between the Rustler and the Max. Let's get the body off and take a look at it, because everyone keeps saying it's just a bigger Rustler. Well, let's find out. Once we get underneath the lid, there are a lot of similarities between these two. They use a lot of the same parts. I'm pretty sure these are the exact same shocks that came off the Rustler. I don't have the stock shocks on there anymore. I got them somewhere packed up. These are, I think they're GTR shocks. I forget, but these are Traxxas shocks, but they are better than the stock shocks. These look like stock Rustler shocks. All the turnbuckles and everything else, the tie rods, all that looks identical. You can see the drive shafts. Those drive shafts, those are Rustler drive shafts. They are the exact same ones I have on the rear, which are just replacement drive shafts. I broke both rear drive shafts on this thing. So much of it looks the same. All the mounts right there, that all looks the same. All these front pieces, everything. It is pretty much just a Rustler with a bigger motor and a different chassis. The chassis is different. That's the biggest thing. You can see that the drive shaft is down there, it's really low. It's up here on the Rustler. You can see how all this kind of sinks down and goes down like that. This is kind of raised up a little bit. So, and when you flip them over, it's very obvious that they are different on the bottom. So this is, you know, all like that, and this is very different. So, and the servo is out here kind of in the open. I know some people have said that this is probably going to be an issue. I don't know how big of an issue that is going to be. This around this may protect that, and you may not have any issues at all with that. I mean, we will find out. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised Traxxas didn't put some kind of a cage or guard around it. Like maybe this right here is all it needs. I don't know. And the reason why I have the Max up here is that the motor out of this thing, it's the same motor that is in the Max. Now this has all of this cooling equipment on there. It's got the heat sink and the fan, and I guess this doesn't need it because this is running off of 3S instead of 4S. You know, this is a 4S RC. This is a 3S, has a 3S ESC in there, so you can't run 4S through there. You could probably just swap this out and run 4S through this thing. I don't know that it would survive it. I think the drive shafts and the drivetrain probably couldn't handle 4S. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll find out. But you know, 3S with a bigger motor. Let's see how much better this is than the Rustler. I took these two screws out. I want to see what's underneath here. And this thing is hard to get off. I took it off and just set it on top of there, and it kind of snaps on there in a way. So it's very difficult to get off, but you just have to take out those two screws. And look at that. There's no slipper clutch, there's no push drive or anything. It's just a center differential. This thing goes straight to it. This is the first Traxxas RC I've seen that does that. I'm not saying it's the only one that does that, but it's the only one I've seen. This wheelie bar back here, there's the shock absorption piece. Usually the wheelie bars act as a shock absorber of some type. It's designed to collapse a little bit whenever there's an impact. So it does flex some. I don't know how much that's going to flex, or if this wheelie bar will break. I don't know. If it's made out of the same plastic that the A-arms are on that E-Revo, it might hold up pretty well. I don't know, hopefully we won't have the issues out of this wheelie bar like we do on the Rustler. Now let's talk about these tires. These tires are very, very knobby. They look like, what is it? Badlands? They kind of look like Badlands in a way. You can see they have not a lot of surface area. These are going to be very good at gripping. They're very different from Traxxas tires normally. Normally, Traxxas tires, they've got a lot more surface area, and they're not quite as knobby, and they don't grip as well. But you see there's some really big gaps between the knobs. This thing is going to grip fantastically. The problem with tires like this is that asphalt and concrete and hard surfaces will eat these things up. They will be worn down very quickly from driving on hard surfaces like asphalt. So I don't know how well they will hold up, but on like surfaces where it needs to grip, like dirt and grass and things like that, I think they are going to be fantastic. The batteries I'm going to be using are the ones out of my E-Revo. They're the 3-cell 5000 milliamp Traxxas batteries. Let's see, compartment opens right on up. They should just fit right on in there. Perfect fit. Awesome. And the gearing is, it's a 14 tooth pinion and a 54 tooth spur, and it says they'll do 40 miles an hour. So I don't have a way to measure it, but I can kind of get a feel for it, and it should do at least close to 40 miles an hour. We'll find out. All right, let's turn it on, make sure it's not in training mode. So green, red. There we go, flashes once, and now it's in standard mode. All right. Let's get the steering. So you turn that down all the way. You get the trim set up right. Whoa, that was not even close to full speed. I need to get the hang of this thing. You don't know that it's kind of hard to steer. I don't know why, it's a little weird to steer. This little thing won't stay straight. Let's turn that up a little bit more. Ooh. The thing is, it's really hard for me to keep it straight. It's a little squirrely. I'm not confident that I can get it up to top speed coming down my driveway. There it goes. Let's get over in the grass and play with it a little bit. It feels really good on the grass. I think this is really more of an off-road RC. I got up on 2 wheels, and doesn't feel like it's going to roll over either. It doesn't feel as top heavy as the Max does. It doesn't stick quite as much as the Rustler. This is actually a really well balanced RC. Feels really good. I saw in videos where Traxxas were doing ollies with this thing. Let's see. See if I can get it to an ollie. That's pretty cool. That can't be good for the drivetrain, right? Let's see if we can do a standing backflip. Don't know if we will be able to, but let's try it over in the grass. Nope. Nope. Almost. I guess not really. Almost. Oh, let's try out the let's try to roll it over on purpose. So okay, so it doesn't want to roll. Come on, there it goes. Let's let's see if we can ollie on the grass. Not really. Kind of, sort of. There it goes. It noses down quick, doesn't it? It sort of does it. Not really. All right, let's get this thing in the air. See how well it flies. TSM is all the way off. You can hear the body hitting the ground already. I know the comment's gonna light up. I need thicker shock oil. I need this. I need that. Listen to the sound of these tires when they hit that ramp. You can really hear those knobs. This thing does not stay straight. When you pull that trigger, it does not stay straight. Let's turn that up to about halfway and see how that helps it out. That is so, you cannot drive this thing without the TSM. You really need it on here. Yeah, see, it flies way better with the TSM. Usually I turn the TSM off when I'm in the air, and you gotta have it. It really hits the ground hard too. Let's see how well it flips and it handles throttle and brake in the air. So, okay, I barely hit the trigger. That is promising. Let's see. Oh, almost. Get a little bit more air. So let's hit the ramp a little harder this time. I landed right on the nose. I'm learning it, so let's see. One trait I look for in an RC is if it can do a flip in the air without the assistance of a ramp. And what I mean by that is, as your RC goes up the ramp, some RCs, you have got to gun it on the ramp right here, and it's the tires against the ramp that start the rotation. So the RC is already starting to rotate as it comes off the ramp. Once you're in the air with the Hoss and you have left the ramp, you can just pull the trigger and it'll do a flip. It's got enough torque and weight in the wheels to do that. The Rustler doesn't do that. The Rustler, you have to start your flip when you are on the ramp. If you try to start after you leave the ramp, it just won't do it. So that is really cool that this thing does that. All right, let's see if we can do the trick where I will flip it halfway backwards and then forward. See if it'll do that. I think it just may do it. Let's see. Yep, it has enough weight in the wheels to throw it forward like that. That was pretty cool. All right, let's get a couple of backflips where we're going to start the backflip actually on the ramp itself. So it should spin much faster when we do that. So I wasn't prepared for it to rotate that fast. There we go, that was perfect. Oh, look at this. This body is not staying where it's supposed to. It's supposed to be tucked inside of there, and it doesn't stay in there. When you are on the street and you're running this thing high speed, if it lifts up, this is going to stop the body from catching air, and that's the good part of it. The thing is, the body hops out of that all the time. So I don't know, we probably should just, while we're jumping it, we should probably just take it out completely like that. See how that works. Turn the TSM down all the way. Oh, I didn't mean to nose it forward that much. It flips a little slow. It doesn't spin as fast as something like the Arrivo or the Max, but you can do flips with it, which is pretty cool. That was nice and easy. Throwing out around the grass. This thing scoots, doesn't it? It's nice, fun, relaxing little RC to run. Oh. Turn the TSM on about halfway. It is a world of difference when you turn that up with this thing. I know some of you probably expect it to be a little quicker than what it is with that giant motor in there, but remember, it's running off a 3S. So it's running off a 3S, it's got bigger tires on it, so it's got more weight to spin than the Rustler does. And I think it does really well, all things considering. That noise you're hearing, I'm pretty sure that's a tire against the body of it. Two wheels. Oh. I don't know how well it comes across on camera, but you can actually see right here where the tires do rub against the body right there. So that is the noise that you are hearing. It's coming around, snagging the body a little bit. Let's see what we can do with that ollie. Let's see if we can do a rolling ollie. Get it moving a little bit and see if he'll do it. It does. It will do it while rolling. All right. See if I can ollie over this board. Try a little bit higher with two 2x4s. I did it! That was so cool. It ollied over this. I can't believe I made it over it. That's so cool. That's so cool that this thing does that. I need to find out what else I can do with that. I gotta try some other things. Let's see how well it ollies off this ramp. What? What? I just kickflipped an RC car. I just kickflipped the Hoss. Did I ollie into a kickflip on that? Holy cow. What? What? I can't believe I kickflipped the Hoss. I was having it in my head. I went kind of all into a kickflip. I think the ollie could have been a little better, but I can't believe I got it to do that. That was absolutely crazy. That was so cool. That was so cool. Man, I can't believe I did that. I don't know how many tries I took. that was crazy. I fell plenty of times testing out different things, and that's not exactly how I wanted to do the kickflip in my head. In my head, I had pictured the Hoss flying into the air and my foot coming up and hitting the wheel and it flipping over like that. And it just, whenever you hit the wheel, it doesn't want to flip correctly. It puts more emphasis on the front or the back, and it causes it to kind of corkscrew and not do correctly. And trying to kick the body down, it just, like, every time I did it, the body would collapse and my foot would just like push into the body and wouldn't flip it at all. So I had to come up from underneath the board, which is a kickflip. You can do it. I used to skateboard, and so you can kickflip from underneath the board. It's a little difficult, and there's a kickflip called the over-under kickflip where you basically kick it, flip it one way, and then you flip it the other way in the same ollie. And so that's wild that I did that. It's so cool. Well, guys, after you kickflip the Hoss, what else is there left to do? I really like this little RC. I think of all the small RCs that I have driven, this has been the most fun. I really like this little thing. Let's go ahead and look it over and see what kind of damage is on this thing. So I've already taken the battery out and everything, which, by the way, the battery, I did a little bit of damage to the battery. That's not horrible. It's going to survive that. That's going to be fine. You know, batteries get beat up. And you can see the other one from the eRevo, both of these have always been ran in the eRevo. This is the first time I've ran the battery not in the eRevo, and that one's fine. And this one's got a little bit of damage to it. It's not bad. That'll be fine. But as far as the body goes, you can see there's a little crimping right there. The bed has a little bit of crimping in it. Not too bad. A little bit right there. The inside of the body looks pretty good. It rubs a little bit in the front. Now, the body didn't come off unless I hit really, really hard in a really awkward way. And usually it came out like right here, and it would come out in such a way that the little piece would clip down there. So that's fine. The tires did fantastic. I really like these tires. The shocks, I mean, you know, people are going to upgrade these shocks. They do fine for what they are. I don't think they are horrible right at this moment. I think that there's so much height from the tires that it just doesn't bottom out quite like the Rustler does. And you've noticed on the front, it actually goes down so low that the shocks compress pretty much all the way. Normally, the Rustler in the back of it actually slaps. You try to do that. So, but the shocks held up fine. I didn't bend or break them. The drive shafts, they don't look twisted or anything else. I'm sure they're going to go eventually. They're the same drive shafts that's on the Rustler, and so the rear ones are probably going to go. Of course, the gears inside look fine. Didn't tear anything up or break anything. The drive shaft is straight still, so when you roll it, so I know with the Rustler, sometimes the flex of the body will cause the drive shaft to bend. So I didn't know if those crash landings were going to bend that drive shaft, but they held up just fine. Just to show you what I'm talking about, this thing snaps in. So yeah, see, it's on there now. I mean, you could probably not even have the screws in there. That thing does not want to come off. The bottom of it got a little bit of damage right there, but you know, of course, I didn't hurt their servo or anything else, so all that looks okay. I think it held up really, really nicely. You know, I really like this RC. I do. It is a lot of fun. It held up great. It handles wonderfully on like grass and stuff like that. I'm going to take this thing out to where there's dirt and see how it performs in the dirt. I'm sure it's going to do fine, because they have these tires right here are a lot like the Badlands, and the Badlands, they grip so well. My friend's got Badlands on all his RCs, and they stick to everything. They really do. I guess I should throw out some negatives. What do I not like about it? One, the body kind of comes out from here sometimes, and that's kind of annoying. You really need to drive this thing with the TSM on. It doesn't handle very well at all with the TSM off. That stability management, you really need that. It just, coming down the driveway at high speeds, it got really, really squirrely, and coming across the lawn, you could really tell the difference when you turn that TSM on. Usually it doesn't make that big of a difference. Like on most Traxxas RCs, I've never had a Traxxas RC that was just squirrely without the TSM. It's just, I'm not confident driving down my driveway at top speed without the TSM on, and even with it on, I am just, it's real sensitive, like steering. I don't know what it is exactly. Maybe as I get more time on it, I'll get the hang of it and I'll be able to drive it at higher speeds coming down my driveway and things like that. But for now, that's another negative that this Hoss has against it. Other than that, the self-riding works. I don't know how devastating that's going to be to the drivetrain, but the self-riding does work. So that's pretty cool, and it works really well too. I tried it a couple of times, and it just every time it just like flipped over almost right away. It only takes a second and a half for it to roll back over, and that's really cool. I'm sure the drive shafts on the rear are going to go out eventually. I don't know how long they will last. Maybe they will last longer than what they do on the Rustler because the drivetrain is different, and I don't know, like, I expect them to not last as long because it doesn't have like a cush drive or a slipper clutch. So I don't know how much punishment those drive shafts are going to take. But you know, if they do break, I'll swap them out with metal drive shafts or something like that. I'll swap the ones on the Rustler several times now, and I haven't put metal ones on there. Maybe I should, but I think that's probably a weak point. It didn't bend the drive shaft or anything like that. I am really happy with this little RC. I think it outperforms the Rustler. Obviously it does. I think it's more fun than the Rustler. I don't know if you have the Hoss, I don't know why you would get a Rustler. If you have a Rustler, you would probably be upgrading to a Hoss. It does cost a little bit more than a Rustler. I think it's like it's $480 on the website, on Traxxas' website, and that's like $50 more than the Rustler. So you get all that just for, you know, $50 more. It's a lot less than what the Max costs. And the battery for that, the batteries that you run in the Hoss, they're more common Traxxas batteries. You know, I have run in the eRevo. They run in like the Vortex and some other RCs. So it's more likely that you're going to have that battery. Whereas the Max, you're going to have to get a battery just for it, right? The 4S batteries, you know, it's kind of an odd battery, the size of it. And it just, I don't know of any other Traxxas RC that runs those. So if you get a Max, you're going to have to get a battery, and you may even have to get a charger, because sometimes you can't get the battery without the charger. I had to buy the battery and charger together. I couldn't get the battery just by itself, but I'm sure you could if you ordered it, but I wanted to drive it like right away, right? And so I think that's one of the really big advantages to the Hoss. Plus it uses the same parts as like the Rustler. It uses the same like A-arms. It uses the shafts, the drive shafts, the shocks, and all that stuff's the same. So if you need to repair it, the parts are already available as long as you don't tear the chassis apart, right? So I think that the Hoss is a really good RC to have because, you know, just there's so many positives about it. It really is. I think that if you are even like considering a smaller Traxxas RC, the Hoss has got to be on that list. Like, you know, I don't have a Slash. I've driven them before. They're a lot of fun. They don't do stunts and tricks and stuff like the Hoss does. It is a very small trick stunt RC. I really like it. It is, I think that this RC is right up my alley. This thing is something that I like the Rustler. I hardly ever drive the thing. I bring it out here sometimes just because, you know, I want to drive it. I want to get some time on it, and I'm not really like, I don't wake up like, man, I want to drive the Rustler. That doesn't happen. It's fun. I have fun with it, don't get me wrong, but I never come out here like specifically to drive the Rustler. But the Hoss, I'm going to come out here just to drive that thing. I'm going to take it places just to drive that thing. I want to see what I can do with the ollie. I'm going to take it and see what I can ollie over, what I can ollie off of. I'm going to see what I can do with this Hoss. But yeah, I guess that's all I got for you today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, you know, like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, share this video, get some traction. I appreciate you guys for watching, really, I do. I hope this video has helped you guys out. I hope you guys like the Hoss. If you go and pick one of these up, let me know what you think about it. I hope you guys have had as much as I can't speak. I hope you guys have had as much fun with your RCs as I have. I cannot wait to take this thing out somewhere else and make another video on it. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys later.